Gentlemen, this is your Captain Jerk speaking. Today we've been given the honor and privilege to take the newly christened Premium Tier 6 U.S. destroyer Sims out on its maiden voyage. We will look to answer the lifelong question, what happens when you take two great tastes and put them together? Will this be the invigorating taste of lemon and lime combined into a fizzy and delicious beverage? Or will it be pineapple on a pizza, an abomination in the face of all that is right and holy in this world? Finish loading the salt that will be needed, and all the mush any man can eat.
Let's ready for the captain, lads. Hip hip.
Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
And however, get some rest, as a difficult journey lies ahead. Well, would you look at this? The Sims, and the first in a new and exciting series on this channel, where I can give you as hard-hitting and investigative looks at new ships as A Current Affair or Entertainment Tonight does with international politics. And since it is a new series, you know feedback is welcome. Anything you'd like me to include in upcoming videos, I will try. But you know, I'm not the history person, and I'm not a stats guy. I'm a feelings guy. So let's talk about my feelings for this ship. Here's what you need to know. I've put about 100,000 XP into this ship today, and while I wouldn't claim to have mastered it by any means, I have got enough time in it to form an opinion. But just coming out and saying that, not my style. We've got to go out to dinner first, maybe a movie. In the background here are a couple game highlights that show the style that has brought me the most success in this ship. I've tried Halsey, Mordoff, and Burke as commanders, but because I'm a twist and track junkie, I quickly dismissed Burke. Because when your torpedoes are as slow as the ones in here, you need to know where people are coming from to be able to lead. So Mordoff could work, but as I have Halsey ranked higher, I'm running with him as commander in the following clips. So let's talk about torpedoes. You have two options. You can have longer range slower torps with a low yield. There's 8 of them. They go around 9 kilometers and do only about 8,000 damage, seriously. And they reload about every 70 seconds with a speed of 49 knots as base, though commanders can get that up to around 53-ish knots. Then you have the heavy hitters, 8 of them, 5.5 kilometer range with just a barely higher yield of around 11,500 damage. They reload about every 84 seconds, but they go just about 70 knots with your commander perks. Now that sounds more impressive on paper, but in practice, I wasn't having much luck. And I think the reason for that is neither type of torpedo is really all that good. Some of the ships you run into will have nearly 50% damage reduction, so it's entirely possible for some ships to survive eating all 8. But a more realistic example of them taking between 2 and 3, barely even noticeable. And while I was playing these matches this morning, I wondered what the damage record in this ship will be, as doing significant damage could definitely be an issue. Well, if the torpedoes aren't doing all that much, then the guns must be. Just let me stop you right there. The guns are the same as the Venom. They reload quickly, they've got a little wonky dispersion, and they do okay, so long as you're using the proper ammo type at the right times. I believe you're going to see me get some Citadels on this Aoba when they go broadside. And you will also see me using AP on that Synop soon. And getting some decent damage through its nose. Off of its nose. So yeah, the guns. They are fine. But I wouldn't really say that this is a gunboat either. So if it's not a torpedo boat, and it's not a gunboat, what is it? Well, one thing it offers is that agility and speed and long-lasting American smoke. With my commander setup, my turning radius is just 500 meters, and with a flag and engine boost active, I can get to a respectable 42.7 knots. So I think this is probably best used as a support ship with your buddies in a division. You drop smoke and spot for them, and fun times ensue. And real quick, let's just see what happens when I actually aim at the bow of this Sinop with AP loaded 2K salvos. See? It does work. Started to get a little taste of a Kraken in my throat at this point in this match. Alright, so this ship could definitely work in a division. Will it work better than anything else? Not so sure about that. But how would one go about playing it if you just play solo? Well, it's not really all that different than anything else. Spot and cap, look for targets of opportunity. It is an American destroyer, so if you can get its guns cycling, you definitely want to do that. And as you can see right here, I'm moving to position myself to have access to multiple battleships so I can try and get these guns and torpedoes going. You'll also be able to see just how slow these torpedoes are. I'm going to drop torpedoes for this hood, but start shooting the Queen, and I'm hoping that the hood just thinks I've ignored them and will continue to drive straight, but no such luck. Any change of course, and they will be dodging those torpedoes. I will say that I do think that with a bit more experience and effort, you could reasonably predict movements of ships and not go by the aiming reticle. I was having some decent luck using them as area denial as well, and just filling heavily trafficked areas and getting a torp here or there. I even managed to break 100k in one game, but I think that took 12 torpedoes and 6 or 7 fires to pull that off. So you can see, I'm not inherently doing anything different than, say, any other American destroyer at this tier. It's like if someone offered to sell you a Benson with 20% less guns and torpedoes that reload 20 seconds faster, but at the expense of 10 knots slower and only 2/3 of the damage. Or if they offered you a Benham with torpedoes that do 20% more damage, go 10 knots faster, but with 2 kilometers less range. Oh, and you only get half the torps. It really is like the Benham and Benson ran into each other after being locked in their homes for a year and nature took its course. 9 months later, the Sims popped out. Now here is one of the funny things about having such slow torps. Someone can turn away and dodge them, and then turn back in and eat them, just like this Queen's gonna do. So in that sense, it fits right in line with the American destroyers. Is that compelling to you? Did I mention it has the lowest HP of all three? Not by much, but it is the lowest.
Enemy battleship.
There is one very big thing that we don't know, and that's what its AA is like. We know that carriers will be making a return, but as of right now, I have no idea what the AA is like on this. And having never played the PC version, I can't even speculate beyond the fact it's American and they seem to have good AA. But that could always be a big selling point in the future. Look at this guy, thinking I'm just going to come right around there and he's going to get me. Not today, buddy. For now, I see this as filling this very narrow space between Benham and Benson. The Benham's chocolate and the Benson's peanut butter. Is this going to be my go-to tier 6 destroyer? Well, I have said on multiple occasions I prefer gunboats, and this isn't quite that, and it's not quite a torpedo boat. So I could definitely see myself playing this more frequently than, say, the Benham, if for no other reason than I'm tempted to lump this into the weird ship category currently occupied by the Krasny Krim and the Gascon. Let's measure it with another metric. Is it a certified Kraken printer? No way. I did have 3 or 4 games this morning where I was just shy of a Kraken, but if anything, I'd say this is a certified Kraken yoinker, as it is excellent at chipping ships down little by little, whether by its guns or its torps. And it could be useful in competitive modes too. But in random battles, I'm personally not seeing it right now. But I also know there is a history to this ship, and for some that will be enough. And some just like having every ship there is. So yeah, it has appeal. I'm just not sure I'm the target audience here. But I am curious to know what everyone else thinks. Am I missing something obvious here? Is there a build I've forgotten that will make this OP? Let me know in the comments. Short, simple, and to the point. Again, if there are things you guys would like me to add in the future, let me know in the comments, or if you have anything else to say. You can see on the scoreboard here it is capable of topping the charts by doing a destroyer's job. And that's going to wrap it up. If you like the new frame on my patch, hit like. If you prefer the old one, hit dislike. Subscribe so as to never miss any more top secret debriefings. I'm going to get back out there and mess around, and we'll talk soon.